It's the most wonderful time of the, well, it's not quite that time, but it is auction time, and that gets me excited. Welcome back to Diesel Creek. If this is your first time joining us, my name's Matt. Currently, we're driving down the road in the old $200 beater with a heater, my 99 Jeep XJ. Oh boy. Tractor trailer was just throwing up all kind of dust and smoke. I don't know what he's got going on. Maybe a brake locked up. Anyways, we're going out to the auction again. I did a video the last time there was an auction out here. There's two every year here at my local Ritchie Bros auction. So I like to come out here and take a good gander at what they got. So you guys seemed to like that pretty well last time. I'm gonna go ahead and do things a little bit differently this time. I'm gonna show you what I'm looking at, and then I'm gonna tell you about what I would want to pay for something like that. And then the auctions too. Oh crap, man, the roads are icy. Woo, we were just sliding there. Scary. Anyways, then we'll go ahead and look at the auction results and see what things go for. I'm a pretty good judge of what they're gonna sell for. And usually that's higher than I want to go. Everybody asked me after the last video, what'd you buy? What'd you buy at the auction? And I didn't buy anything at that last auction. Everything went too high, you know. Usually the fall auction is actually the one that things go cheaper at, and this time wasn't the case. So this is the spring auction, and we'll see what happens. I'm thinking everything's still going to be expensive. All right, first piece of equipment I see when we walk through the gate here, this nice little Cat D4D that looks to be in pretty good shape here. It's all set up like a tack rig for a pipeline. So what they would do is they'd have a welder or an air compressor rigged up on here, and they got bottles and stuff up here for the welders. That's a bottle rack right there, pipe on there so the welders would stick their cutting clamp on there. Toolboxes and all this stuff, no blade. But see, these machines are babied. All they ever do is just follow the pipe gang on the job. So really, the undercarriage looks really nice. It's all there. It's an older machine. It's a nice size. But I've seen these tack rigs go nice and cheap because they don't have blades with them. But you can find a blade. It's not impossible. And the machine itself is all that really matters. So this is an old school tractor. It doesn't have a power shift. That's a hand clutch over there. Got a gear selection down there, steering clutches, throttle, what would be your blade control, and your left and right brakes. And then those dogs over there are what ran the winch in the back. Winch doesn't have any cable on it though. But see, me, I would totally buy something like this because you get to go home and strip it down. You get toolboxes, you get all this extra plate steel and stuff, you got iron to have laying around for whatever you need it for, and you got a nice little tractor here. The sweeps on it are really nice, and all you got to do is track down a blade for it and you're in business. Get a nice old school dozer. I really like the D4Ds. It's one of my favorite little models. Here comes that old D4D tack rig we looked at. She's a gem. I want that thing. I've seen those things go really cheap. I kick myself. There's a couple of them I didn't bid on a couple years ago. And they actually had knuckle boom cranes on them. They went for like $3 grand. Should have bought them. Oh, she's a sweetheart. All right, well, while they had this thing fired up, I had them leave it running so we can check it out a little bit. Pretty slick old machine. I don't know, there's maybe a little bit of a pop going on to the exhaust. Might just be a dirty injector or something. Got good fuel pressure. I don't think I hear anything internally knocking or anything. What's our hour meter look like here? Sounds pretty nice. has a reverser. So you're in gear right now, your clutch is disengaged, and we're in drive because this is back. All you got to do to go to reverse, push that forward, pull our clutch, now we're going backwards. I love running these old things. They make you work for it though. New machines will maybe you. I tell you, I think it's a pretty nice old machine. Gonna definitely keep my eye on this. Got excavator row here. Quite a number of tracos here. Got a shipping container carrier. That's pretty neat. I've never seen one of those in person. That's a big sucker. Got a whole bunch of skid steers here today. Definitely going to be checking all those out. Pretty interested to buy one of them. What I think I'm going to do is go ahead and start with the smaller things that I want to look at first, and then spend my time actually looking at the machines in some good detail here. I'm sure I can roll out quite a few of these. I'm actually pretty interested in the Mustangs because they're made by a company called Manitou. I think that's how you pronounce it, and they actually seem to be decent little machines, but we'll get to that. In the main row of big equipment here, you got your dozers, you got your loaders, got some graders, maintainers, compactors, pavers, articulating trucks, got it all. But I'm over here in the small section right now, looking at this utility bed. I've been wanting to get a utility bed for my truck or buy another truck with a utility bed. This one here is actually made for a dually, but I'm not scared to look stupid. I'll put it on my truck if it goes cheap enough. It's a pretty new bed. I think it's a 2018. Comes with a fuel tank, GPI pump, and unknown condition. Boxes all seem to be in good shape. I don't see any rust or rot on this thing. Yeah, got the nice tray up top and everything. Plenty of room in here. That guy's frozen shutter locked. Tailgate work? Oh yeah, tailgate works. I'm betting it's going to go higher than I want to spend for it, but I would go up to about $1,000 on it. I'm betting it goes for closer to $2,000. Check these old things out. These are clamshell diggers for cranes, and these are pretty darn old. That one there's a smooth cutting edge. This one here's got teeth on it. It's a little bit smaller. That's pretty neat. You don't see these too often anymore. Owen bucket. Now, I said I had narrowed down my list of things online that I wanted to look at when I came here, but rest assured I am keeping my eyes open for anything I may have missed, because you always seems to like you find something here that isn't on the website. There's something I was looking for. A 3-ton gantry crane. Someday when I build my big shop, I'd like to have a gantry crane that runs the length of the building. This one doesn't look like it's quite wide enough. I'm looking for at least 40 foot wide. This definitely isn't 40 foot. But if it goes cheap enough, just the hoist and everything is nice. It's a 5-ton hoist and only on a 3-ton beam, so all you'd have to do is buy a bigger beam and move everything over to the bigger beam. But it's got the trolley drives and everything down here that you'd need, so that's all worth something. I've worked in a lot of big shops that had these kind of things, so once you have them, it's really nice, and you kind of always want to have them. I've honestly never seen one of these come up for auction, and I have no idea what it's going to go for. I've seen a few of the hoists by themselves sell on marketplace and stuff. You know, people have them listed for around 800 or 1,000, sometimes even less. So I think I'd go up to about 800 on this. Think that's a big air compressor or what? I'm betting that means 1600 CFM. That's a lot. They have a ton of flat deck trailers for semis. A lot of them are newer, but there's a couple old ones in here from the 90s. And when they have a lot of them like this, sometimes you'll see those trailers go real cheap. Like, I'm talking $600–800. So I keep an eye on the old ones. You never know when you find a deal. Got some man lifts down here to look at. So they definitely look pretty rough. Look like they've been in some sort of caustic environment or just outside their whole lives. That's the nicest looking one here. But these three small ones are the ones I'd be looking at. Not sure if they work. I'm gonna play around with them and then I'll bring you back. So the crustiest one here, it'll drive back and forth. And the battery gauge says it's, you know, decent on a charge. But for some reason, oh, there it goes. Yeah, we're going up and down. Sweet. Yeah, so this one works pretty good, and it's pretty crusty, so that means you might get a deal on it. I don't think we will, but we'll try. Oh, you see what I see? I see olive drab green. Oh yeah, boys. 3 in a row. These are M35 A2 deuce and a halves. Well, I don't know that they're all A2s, but they're all M35 trucks. I've talked about these in previous videos. They are my favorite Army truck, hands down. I think they just look super tough. They're not gigundous. They're 6-wheel drive. They're diesel. And they're readily available for not a lot of money. Let's have a gander at these things and see if any of them are worth buying. So these two have custom beds on them that look like pipeline beds. I'll bet $1,000 that that's what they were. They were used on a pipeline company somewhere. Came from West Virginia, so yeah, small little pipeline outfit, no doubt owned all three of these. This one was probably used for a tack rig. You can see there's a bunch of stuff that they cut off of it. So inside of our M35 here, pretty clean interior. Oh. They've left it in gear. One of these on the website said the brakes didn't work, so that's this one. These are air over hydraulic, and the pedal goes right to the floor, so there's something messed up there. Oh yeah, it pops off. That buzzer's, oh, no, that ain't good. Not sure why I keep shutting off. It does run. Something's just shutting it off for some reason. Not that big of a deal. Let's see if we can't get this other deuce and a half started. Missing the stinking handle here, but it's okay. There's no glass, so you can just reach in. Get yourself opened up here, maybe. Need no glass in the window? Nah, you don't need no glass in there. That's the good ventilation. That's your 55-mile-an-hour AC. Alright. I can't do it, Captain. I don't have the power.
More batteries.
Yep.
Probably would run great.
Yeah, according to the website, this one runs with a boost as well. It's a bummer we can't hear it run, though. But there is hope. We got one more right here we can try. I like this one. This one looks pretty cool. It's got this nice bed deal on it. Spare tire carrier is still here.
Got a door handle.
Yeah, it's got a door handle and glass.
Oh, glass.
One's broken. It's missing a mirror. Not a huge deal. Oh yeah. Now, this is what you want to drive on a long trip with here. We got power? Oh, we got power. Ooh, no. I don't know how we'd shut this off. The engine stop is busted off. Is that? Okay, that's what this is now. So they got the engine stop re-rigged up on this other handle. I wouldn't want to start it unless I had a way to shut it off. Oh yeah. Tell me that thing doesn't look tough, huh? Those are some cool looking trucks. This here almond light plant was in the last auction, and then they pulled it out at the last minute, but I'm definitely interested in this. I've been wanting a light plant for out at the farm. The generator's apparently torn apart on this one, but old Bob behind me here is an electrician. Maybe he can fix it up. Yeah, no, 3-cylinder Kubota on it. So I'd be interested in that for the right price because it's inoperable. Might go cheap. I've seen these go for a couple $100 like that. Engine alone would be worth over $1,000 if you get it running right. Check this bad boy out. 6-wheel drive tractor. This thing would look real good pulling my low boy, wouldn't it? I think so. Should have a 8.3 Cummins in it. We'll go ahead and see if this thing won't pop off. According to the auction, it runs and drives, but the battery is no bueno right now. So unfortunately, we can't run it. That tractor over there we looked at, I forgot to say, that thing's probably going to go for about 20 something. Is what I've seen those go for in the past. Sometimes they go way higher, sometimes they go way lower. You just don't know. These 3 deuces here, I'm thinking they'll all go for around $2,000 or $2,500. This one being my favorite so far because it started. Well, everybody needs a good dirty hoe once in a while, so I'm gonna go up here and look. There's a couple smaller machines up here that pique my interest. Probably gonna go way out of my price range, but this is a size machine I'd like to get into. Little Deere 135 here. Pretty clean interior. What kind of hours we got? 6,300 hours. So she's had a few hot suppers, but she's still got some life left in her. It's plumbed, quick coupler. Let's see if it pops off. Fire's up right now. Well, my battery died and my second battery's almost dead as well, but I did check out the old John Deere here, and needs a stick pin, but it's not too bad. Definitely a decent machine. Engine's super smooth on it. They got hose for days. Even got a long reach hoe down there. So one of the things I've been looking to upgrade in my fleet is my skid steer, and for some reason my auction doesn't usually have that many, you know, maybe 2 or 3 of them, but this time around we got pretty good selection here. So these machines weigh about 8,000 pounds, a little over, like I think closer to 8.5, which is actually a little bit smaller than I want. I'd really rather find a 10,000 pound machine, but that would definitely do what I needed to do. It's got better hydraulic capabilities on it and stuff, and just having tracks is a complete game changer over rubber tires, even with the steel tracks. The worst part of this machine, the tracks, they're at the end of their life. You know, you can probably get a season out of them, but that's going to be about it. Checked all the rollers out and stuff, all your pins, you know, it's all pretty tight. Sprockets aren't too bad, pins and bushings in the bucket aren't too bad. It fires right up real nice, runs smooth. I don't see any big leaks on it. It's pretty straight. I'm guessing that this machine's going to go for 25, give or take, and I'm really much rather be around 20 on a used machine, especially one that belonged to a rental company. So you can see the sticker here. It definitely belonged to a rental company. I've heard a lot of bad and I've heard a lot of good about these posi tracks. I really don't know that much about them. I've seen them command pretty good prices. They look goofy to me, but if you know anything about them or have good or bad experience about them, let me know down in the comments, because I always like to hear people's real life experience with stuff. I've run a bunch of these C model cat skid loaders. Not too bad. I don't know. It seems like they get kind of wore out quick. A lot of nickel and dime stuff going bad on the cats. The Takahachis, they're pretty much like they're tanks. They're built like a battleship. I mean, they're no creature comforts, but they are tough. If this was an enclosed cab machine, I'd probably be interested in it. Seems like we got a whole bunch of tri-axle dump trucks today. I don't need anything that big just yet. Maybe someday. First time I've seen a scraper here in quite a while. Not a real big one either. What's that mean? 21 yard capacity, something like that. Sitting here on the couch with a meatball, watching the auction go this morning. They're working through some trucks right now. We'll bring you back whenever they get to something cool that we're interested in. So at the same time, I'm watching two different live auction rings going over here. These are different rings. So at the same time I'm watching these, I'm also keeping an eye on a timed auction over here for a lot of the stuff I'm interested in. Got these scissor lifts and stuff, you know. Look, I mean, look, they're going for $5 right now. I mean, they still got 3 hours and 14 minutes left, but, you know, maybe that's a sign they're not going to go too bad. The price always jumps up right at the last minute. You know, it's never a true representation of what it's going to go for until the last couple seconds. Look, all these light boards, these traffic signs. There's a ton of those things. They might go cheap. I didn't show you guys this thing. This tandem roller here. I put it's in the inoperable aisle at the auction. I put a key in it. That thing fired right up. There's a hydraulic leak, I guess, in the front drum somewhere, and it was out of fluid. Otherwise, I think it would have moved just fine. So we'll keep an eye on that. You know, unless you were out there at the auction, you wouldn't know that this thing ran. So something to keep an eye on. I got a feeling everything's going to go high today. I spoke to one of the workers at the auction out there at the yard before I left the other day, and he was telling me that due to COVID, a lot of the new machinery is hard to get, which I can attest to myself. I've kind of been calling around about new skid steers, and you can't even get prices. I mean, the dealerships are telling you, well, we don't know if we can get you a machine or not, and that's just crazy to me. But he said the guy at the Ritchie Brothers told me that everything's been going high because everybody's been spending all their money on used equipment since they can't get their hands on the new stuff. So, like these telehandlers and stuff, these never go cheap, but they seem like they're going pretty much all on the high end. I've been kind of just glancing over here as things sell. I try to keep myself pretty well versed in all the prices and stuff what this equipment goes for. That way, if something pops up, you kind of know if it's a good deal or not. I'll bring you guys back if we see something cool coming up. All right, we're almost up to that nice little tack rig we were looking at in the yard. It's coming up next. This is a side boom. If you're not familiar with these, it's kind of like a crane, but it's on a dozer platform basically, and it can it's really designed for pipeline jobs. They use them in all kind of different industries. These old school ones are nice. The little D4D that we're looking at coming up next. Look how cheap this thing's trying to go for. Man, if somebody gets that for $2,500, they're getting a steal. Wow. Man, $2,500 for a D6. See what happens here. Yeah, it's going to go for more than I want now. I should have just went ahead and bought that stinking pipe layer. That's still a good price, but, you know, I don't need it. You can kind of see that guy was from the UK. If they can afford to buy that and ship it somewhere, then, you know, they've got money to burn. They're going to go ahead and spend some more money on it. So no use driving the price up and possibly getting stuck with a high price. I'm only looking for serious deals here. Well, we're over on the timed auction right now, and you can see it's coming down to the wire here. Got 1 minute and 50 seconds left, so the bids will keep coming in, and they'll keep adding time as long as people bid. These other ones are up a lot higher. I'm not sure why, because this is the only one that I could get to work when I went out there. So kind of makes you wonder sometimes, feel like you missed something, but this one ran and drove, so I'm not too worried about it. They're all pretty crusty and rusty. I don't know, they were in some sort of corrosive environment, but I kind of wait till it gets down like this, and then, you know, see, it's just jumping up now, and this one's already over 1,000 or at 1,000, so I'll go ahead and stick my maximum in here in a second, and we'll see where we're at. Yeah, it's at 425. I'm sure I'm going to get outbid here. Maybe I'll do 600 on it. I don't know. I don't really need one of these, but I think it would be handy from time to time to have. So for the right price, we'll go ahead and do it. There we go. And I'm winning right now, but I'm sure that's short-lived. The meatball doesn't seem to care about my auction purchases. Yeah. 1 minute and 20, and I'm still in the lead, which is surprising. It's really concerning me that these other two have jumped up considerably, and the one that I wanted is staying low. I don't understand why that is. They're all the same model, same year, and relatively same condition. And like I said, this was the only one I could get to work. The rest of them did not function. I'm sure they probably would with some fiddling, or maybe the batteries were just dead, but this guy had active batteries. And for the, nope, somebody's gonna get me here. Jumped up. No, I'm gonna stay where I'm at. Gotta know when to hold them, gotta know when to fold them. Right, buddy? Yep. There we go. I'm outbid. Son of a diddly. Well, they can have it. I don't need it that bad. Going 3 times. And they really try to squeeze every bit out of you. There it goes. Sold to that guy for $600. That's a good deal, you know, but it's just not a crazy deal that I need to jump on. So there's a couple different strategies to buying on these online auctions. And I'm no auction pro, but there was the swoop in at the last second strategy like I just tried there. And it seems to drive a bidding frenzy usually at the end, because the person that's been sitting on it for a fraction of the sale price for 2 days, you know, they're kind of like, oh, and they hurry up and bid up on it. The other option is to bid high before it goes off. See, this one's still got almost 4 hours left on it. So if I go ahead and put in, I highly doubt I'll get it for this, but $5.50. People might just steer away from that one. They'll look at all these 20-footers that they're looking at and say, well, that one's already kind of high, and they'll kind of linger towards the lower dollar figure ones that are remaining. And that strategy has worked for me before too, so we'll see where I'm at. You know, you really can't have too many of these shipping containers or too much storage. And I can haul these ones, so there's no really extra cost for me. I mean, I'll have the 6% tax and the buyer's premium from the auction, which is, I think, 10%. So there's a little extra, but not too bad. Oh, actually, I didn't even realize it took me straight up to $5.50. So somebody probably put in a max of $500 before. So yeah, I quickly went to the top end of my bid too. I'm sure I'll get outbid. Yeah, a couple little trailers and stuff I'm watching. Nothing too crazy now. All the big stuff that I was really interested in is pretty much gone. Everything's going really high. Well, you can't win them all, and especially when you're cheap like me. That's another auction in the books, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get any super good deals, and that's the only reason I shopped the auction. If you're looking to pay retail price, you're better to do it from the end user, because you can be really buying a bag of snakes at the auction, as you can see in my buying a crane sight unseen video. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the lack of availability of new equipment I think has definitely increased the value of used equipment currently. Hopefully that's a short-lived thing, much like the inflated cost of building materials that we're seeing right now. And although I struck out at the auction, that has not stopped me from making some good purchases here. I've been buying up some old equipment recently, so there's going to be a lot of cool videos coming on that kind of stuff. I've definitely got some cool Will It Starts and resurrecting old equipment coming soon, so you guys stay tuned for that. I think there's going to be some really cool ones coming you guys are going to like. So that wraps up this video. As always, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you on the next video. Later.